What's good? What's good? What's good? This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Please like and share this video. Peace and blessings, peace and love. Today is going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. Man, we got some football today. Shout out to Wilkins Professional Cleaning. Say, let's go. Let's go. It's football season, man. Y'all got to turn up. We got Jackson State versus FAMU. The game of the week. I repeat, the game of the week. I don't care what Shine say. All these other games. That's cool and all. The game of the week is two HBCU Blue Bloods with a lot of history. This game will be very important on the SWAC East standings. Yes, we're live. Y'all can tell in my channel I've been doing regular videos a lot. I got people hitting me up saying, are we live or not? We're live. Get the likes up. Let's get it to 30 plus likes. Starlight Moon, yes, we're live. Keys to the game. I'm going to start with FAMU. And make sure to share this video throughout all social media platforms. Before I go on, Real Talk says, is RawTruth traveling to the Orange Blossom Classic? No. But I will be going to the Grambling versus Jackson State game. That's where I will be going to. Jacktown 7785 says, oh snap, we live. Yes, sir, we are live. We are live today. Peace and blessings to the brother Robert Gaddy. He said, let's go. RawTruth is live today. So I'm going to start with FAMU. So what FAMU has to do when they play against Jackson State, they gotta make sure their run defense is on par. When FAMU played against UNC, their run defense was atrocious. All four of the running backs of UNC was able to get positive yards. UNC in that game averaged a total of 7.9 yards per carry against FAMU. Now, you could say, oh, they're Power 5 and this, but I've seen the Tar Heels play a lot on TV. They run an air raid offense. They only run when they have to. And for them to get 7.9 yards per carry is something that they got to shore up. Because what I'm hearing is the Jackson State running backs right now are even better than last season. And they added Savion Wilkinson, was a freshman All-American at Delaware State. He's turning it up at Jackson State right now every day in practice. You got to shore up the run. If not, it's going to be a long day. Now, FAMU, do not expect this Jackson State team to play the same air raid style or the same defense. They're not going to play the same at all. This will be an opportunistic offense and defense, what I'm hearing. Whatever defensive coverage you're playing, they'll change it up. So if you're going to look at last year's film, you're doing yourself a disservice. Real Talk says, I need hourly updates on FAMU. You ain't lying. So far, what I've heard is 17 players will be are ineligible. Previously, it was 26 ineligible. That's progress, but I need to hear some more updates on that. Sophia Lamar says, good to see you live. Yeah, it's good to be live, man. I wanted to do this before I go to work, be here with the people. She said, hi, RawTruth. Thank you for another banker. Peace and blessings. Dazzling, my brother, peace and blessings to you, man. Football season is here. Yeah, FAMU's defense got to shore the defensive line. I know Isaiah Land is not playing in this game, but he's an edge rusher. There's no excuses of giving up 7.9 yards per carry. And I've talked to some FAMU fans, and they agree with my segment. They know they got to share that up. Wide receivers. Xavier Smith is a baller. He caught 10 passes for 78 yards versus North Carolina. But here's the problem. Somebody else got to step up. Now, Darian Oxendine had 4 catches, 43 yards, and Trevonte Davis caught 3 catches for 49 yards. But against these Jackson State DBs with Nugget, Travis, and then you got Greg Great, John Huggins, Cameron Selman-Craig, Kevin Wiggins. The list goes on. Travion Beasley, Herman Smith. I'll keep naming them. So Xavier Smith can't be the only guy. Last season, Xavier Smith was the one wide receiver that Jackson State game planned on, and it worked to perfection. Someone has to step up besides Xavier Smith. If not, it will be a long game. Kevin Price says FAMU lost 2 offensive linemen last week. If they get more offensive linemen, they will be in trouble. Yeah, they got to get that shirt up. Aaron Sanders says, "What's good, Raw? We JSU got a Big Max lineman from USC, and he was on Snoop Dogg's Pee Wee team that played with Coach Deion's Pee Wee team. Truth. Yeah, I heard about it. Shout out to Blitz, which is CFL podcast. He changed his name. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't. Real Talk says, I wish I had bread in time to attend these upcoming collisions, historical bangers. Man, if it was my way, I would go to Vaughn. I did mention Greg Great. With John Huggins, I did mention him, brother. I would go to every game if it was possible. Another thing that FAMU can work on against Jackson State. Since, let's be honest, congratulations to FAMU for having heart, missing all those players and showing up against North Carolina. But what I realized is that UNC played a very soft zone defense. And when their top corner, Grimes, had that head injury, the zone defense became even softer to protect all the DBs for UNC. So Jerry Musa was so comfortable picking and choosing all the underneath routes. Playing against Jackson State, it's straight up man-to-man, and it's blitz in all areas. You don't know where it's coming from. The pressure will be amped up. So all my tight ends and fullbacks and running backs at FAMU, pick up your blocks. Chip, do whatever you can. And you got to have awareness when you do that. Because if you don't, you miss an assignment, that's going to be a sack. And we all know Jeremy Musa is not a scrambling quarterback. He's a true definition of a pocket passer. Shout out to the brother Zoe Phillips, man. Subscribe to the 1400 Tiger Talk. Also subscribe to King Clark 1400. He said, we're going to make an example out of FAMU. Sending all the SWAC message week 1. To FAMU fans and JSU fans, I have to let you know about JSU. Every day, it seems like I'm hearing how much depth they have compared to last year. And this is on a 65-man scholarship. The wide receiver depth is so scary that Mark Pope transferred because he couldn't even start. He's a great player. But when you got Malachi Wideman, Shane Hooks, who's improved so much, he's looking like a Malachi Wideman clone, I'm hearing. And then you have, Dallas Daniels. Then you have Kevin Coleman. You can't forget Kevin Coleman, who should have been listed as a 5-star. I don't know how you can be a top 50 player and not be a 5-star, but that's another video for a different day. Number 1 ranked slot receiver, that is Kevin Coleman. And then add on to the receivers you had last year, Trevonte Rucker. The list goes on. I'll have all day if I listed all the wide receivers Jackson State has. And don't forget their tight ends, Jency Riley. This team has an arsenal of weapons. Hayden Hagler, tight end for Marshall, who's really good. I'll have all day. Rico Powers, transfer from South Carolina. Travis Hunter will be playing both ways. You got to play unique. And if you think you're going to do, I'm letting you know now, because I've been hearing people say, oh, fam, you could just play the same defense as what South Carolina State did against Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. Do not do it. You got to be a little bit more. K. Mullins, can't forget him. You got to be more creative than that. The Jackson State defense have been watching that film religiously. Now, they're not going to say it, but I know they have. When you lose a game that bad, it has to motivate you. Jeremy Musa, what I want to see from him, who looked fantastic against UNC, when that pressure comes from Jackson State, do not get phased. Make sure your body language is good. He's had good body language so far, but then again, UNC hasn't blitzed. So that's the difference. And make the smart play. Now, JSU fans, what FAMU is probably going to do is dink and dunk, control time of possession. They're going to try to get their receivers in space and have a bunch of quick routes. The running game will be a factor as well. Some are saying the FAMU running backs are better this year than last year. And this is not figure of speech. This is not me just saying it because I love all HBCUs. You got A.J. Davis, Terrell Jennings, big backs, Jalen McLeod, 200-plus pounds, what you call a balanced back. They have strength, but they can have breakaway speed as well. They're going to try to control the clock and make sure the defense is on the field for a long time. I'm telling you what's going to happen before the game starts. Now, it's Jackson State's job to stop the run. No missed tackles. But let me go back and make sure to tune in to Ken Clark 1400. They're going live tomorrow night in Miami. It's going to be a fantastic show. Zoe and Ken Clark and company. One of the hottest shows on HBCU streets. Subscribe to their channels, man. I haven't missed an episode, so you know it's going well. Jackson State, what I want the players to do, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. What you need to do is prepare well. I don't need you turning up before the game. You do that after the game if you win the game. I want you to take this seriously because the powers that be want you to have a losing season. The powers that be don't want you to win enough games. They can't stand brothers who are confident. But when they see Coach Prime, they despise it because they hate a black man who is not a yes man, who follows the beat of his own drum. They hate that. So they're going to watch this game praying that Jackson State loses. I hope you listen to me right now because I'm about to get really real with all of you. Some people may not even know FAMU. I'm talking about the Dominant Society. But they're going to root for them in that game. And I got love for FAMU. I got love for all HBCUs. But I'm just telling you, the powers that be, they do not want Jackson State winning like this. Look how much they celebrated when Jackson State lost the Celebration Bowl. I've never seen so much shucking and jiving in my life from some of our own people. One of the biggest diseases right now in our community is self-hate. So when they see a confident team full of brothers, oh, they cannot stand it. These shines probably got voodoo dolls of JSU players, man, begging them to lose. They got candles in their closet and stuff and saying, please, for the love of God, please have Jackson State lose. I can't stand them winning. It's pathetic, man. Yeah, y'all get the likes up. Let's get it to 90 likes. It's a game within the game. Let me repeat it again. This is a term I've been saying with me and Coach Joe, the OG. A game within the game. Look at what the media is doing with the water crisis. And prayers to all of Jackson, the city of Jackson going through it. But it takes more than prayers. It takes action. You can't just pray and hope to happen. No, Jackson State needs action right now. The government, the state, you got to take care of business and look out for the people in the city of Jackson. It's the city of Jackson making Mississippi money. It's the city of Jackson that fills up their stands with 60K fans. It's the city of Jackson bringing a popularity to the state itself. And you got the nerve to not help them in a time of need. And for those who make fun of Jackson State going through this crisis, you are no different. You are just like the people who are not helping Jackson. So much history in that city, from civil rights. There were days where a black man or woman couldn't even, if they wanted to go to the dentist, they had to go to a veterinarian because they didn't let black folks in a place with whites. Do you know how degrading that is? I want y'all to listen to me now. I know this is a key game breakdown, but what I want to see from FAMU and Jackson State, I want them to play with so much passion, good product on the field. So no matter what happens, we can all be proud. Let's say Jackson State hypothetically loses this game, but they did everything right. Yes, you would be disappointed that they lost. But if they have less penalties, they're playing the right way, but FAMU just rose above and just played at another level, you can't fault them from that. FAMU has a talented team. And I hate that the admins and the academic staff at FAMU is not taken care of. You finally have a quarterback in Jeremy Musa who could take you to levels that you haven't been in years. And now it's ruined because the AD doesn't know what he's doing. I'm sorry, I'm just being real. And not looking out for the players on that team. You know what pays your HBCU school? Football. Let me say to the people in the back, football helps your schools get paid, gets the money, the books, the education that it needs for your schools. Coach Prime brought that up. And there were shines hating on that, but it's the truth. So that's why they got to get the best locker rooms. That's why they got to get the best jerseys. That's why they got to get the best training staff. Nutrition plan. So we can have these HBCU athletes looking like Power 5 athletes from the offensive line, defensive line, etc. Right, Kevin Pryor? FAMU leadership has failed. They failed the players. The fact that the FAMU players have to write a letter to the school itself when the season's going on is embarrassing. Kenny Banks says people saying FAMU dropping 35 on JSU's defense. Brother Kenny, that's just all a reaction, man. Let's just try to. They know that Jackson State has a strong fan base, and what do you do when you know someone has a strong fan base? You keep poking at it and try to get a reaction, and that's all it is. FAMU has a talented team, but 35 points on that defense. I mean, that's like me saying Jackson State's going to put 40 or 50 points on FAMU. I have a lot of respect for FAMU to even say that. In my opinion, there won't be any undefeated teams this year in the SWAC. Uh-oh. Interesting. What do y'all think about that? About real talk? That's one thing I respect about real talk, man. He's gonna shoot for the help. He's not gonna sugarcoat a damn thing. You know what's crazy? You never know. Man, I was watching Alabama State last week against Howard. And me and a couple of homies, we had a group call. We was talking about that game. And they were telling me, Vaughn said that's a lie. They were telling me if Alabama State picks up that offense, because let's be honest, it was a rain delay. Their timing was off. It was horrible conditions on that field because of the bad weather. But you see the potential. And I'm just giving you an example. It's going to be more teams. Texas Southern, they have a quarterback in Andrew Body who is talented as heck. But what is the defense going to look like? Southern, they have a dominant front seven, not just a dominant defensive line with Dumas and Jordan Lewis, but the front seven. Linebackers as well. They're going to be scary good. But if JSU goes undefeated, I don't want to hear any excuses why these teams ain't this or that. If JSU goes undefeated, I don't want to hear a damn thing. First, they try to shit on the schedule. Now, the teams are looking better. I told you this was going to happen. Ken Clark and Zoe try to tell you this. And shout out to Kobe as well. Tomorrow Leader Sports Network pointed this out. Man, this SWAC is the best of years. How many times have we been saying that, family? We've been saying it this whole month. Now you see this is not a cupcake league as people think it is. I like this take right here. James Moore says, bearing injury, JSU will go undefeated. Our toughest opponents will be in the vet. You gotta take account if they stay healthy, and that's for any team. And also, going back to the FAMU game, keys of the game. Jackson State, I hope they don't have any slow starts. It was so annoying last season. Penalty after penalty after penalty. I like the new additions at the offensive line, Zach Bro, Willis Patrick, and many others, Tyler Brown from Louisiana Lafayette. This offense has upgraded. So if you see a different offensive line unit, don't be surprised. Jasper Ferris, who's 6'6", 340 pounds. Now, question. Do you think anyone from last year's offensive line is going to start? Like even one person? Don't forget Evan Henry for Louisiana Monroe. I'll be disappointed if this offensive line doesn't perform as what I've been hearing, because all I've been hearing is that they've been doing well. and they're picking up the offense. Zoe said he doesn't believe anyone from last year is going to start. I agree. I don't see anyone from last. I'll be surprised if any offensive lineman from JSU last year will start this year. And Willis Patrick, watch out for him. Bright young man. I listened to his interviews. He seems like he has high football IQ, that you could trust him in the game. You look at him, you hear him speak, you hear him communicate, he breaks down the game. When they did the on Ken's channel, and then on I think it was on the Tiger Talk 1400 Club, when they had the players only stream, and Willis Patrick broke down the whole offense to a T. I said to myself, I'm not trying to put no jinx or anything, but he's one of those players that you can count on not having a bunch of penalties. He's one of those players that you know he won't give up a big sack. The gift keeps on giving. Jackson State just landed a 6'7", 390 offensive lineman from USC. Yeah, bring him on. Ms. Lavitu said Willis Patrick plays basketball too. Phenomenal athlete. Yo, those. Vaughn said none of them should start. And I'm not trying to be harsh. It was horrible, man. Man, Shadir Sanders was running backwards like the late, great Gregory Hines. You had to hold your breath as soon as Shadir Sanders says hike, because the offensive line was having so many breakdowns. Zoe just reported JSU got another 4-star defensive lineman too. If you know who it is, let me know, because I'm interested. Man, it's not even the off season. It feels like Christmas for Jackson State. Man, I can't wait to go to Jackson. I know some people making jokes. For those who said about the water, are you sure you're going to go to Jackson? The water situation, I'm still going to go to Jackson. I've been reading reports about the government sending some help. Hopefully that gets rectified. But I'm a man of my word. Once I say I'm going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. And despite the water situation, I got love for the city of Jackson. It's not the citizens' fault that the state will not look out for the citizens there. That's not their fault. So I'm still going to the Grambling State, Jackson State game. Ooh, let me look at that right there. Aaron Sanders, his opinion of his 5 starters. I forgot to mention Debo. Debo transferred from Florida Atlantic. Evan Henry, Zach Rowe, Tyler Brown, and Willis Patrick. Yes. And I think Jasper Ferris, he may not be a starter, but what you call a swing tackle, meaning if you have certain run plays, he's like a co-starter. And don't forget, Jackson State runs an NFL system. So what do they do in the NFL when you have a gigantic offensive line who's really better at run blocking than pass blocking? They're a swing tackle. They're not officially the starter, but they'll come in the game for heavy run sets. So that's what I think Jasper Ferris will be. Now, could he be the starter? Could be. But that starting lineup is very possible, Aaron Sanders. Vaughn says FAMU's DBs are suspect. Now, in fairness, FAMU is playing without BJ Bowler because of that situation that the school needs to get fixed, the ineligibility situation. A lot of those kids at FAMU, the players there, it's not like they have bad grades. It's just that they didn't receive the proper academic advice when they take certain classes or trying to graduate faster. No, BJ Bowler got talent. He's just 5'9". I'm not going to cap now and say BJ Bowler ain't got talent. Now, he's not a tall corner like Nugget, but he's very handy. Not in the penalty wise, but he's right in your face, very aggressive, extremely athletic. He's one of FAMU's better corners. He didn't play against UNC because he was ineligible. Dominic Dunaville says, check the film. I'll check the film. I've seen this film before, but I think he's a talented corner. I tell you right now, if BJ Bowler was in the market, a lot of teams would ask for his services. Knowing Zoe, Vaughn, even if they know, they won't announce it unless it's the right time. They'll announce it soon enough who's the defensive player. And that's why you got to subscribe to not only Tiger Talk 1400 Club, but also King Clark 1400. You're going to get the absolute sources there. I knew that name was familiar, Maximum Gibbs. Maximum Gibbs. Played with Snoop Dogg's league. I remember him. D Fresh says, let's go Tigers. How many FAMU fans do we have in here? Shout out to FAMU. Hey, we need more people like Vaughn. He said, I'm subscribed to everything that came from. Now, Dre Wood says FAMU is a MEAC team. They will be bigger, faster, and stronger than JSU. I believe Jackson State has gotten a lot stronger, a lot faster since they had added the new strength and conditioning coach who was assistant strength and conditioning coach at Georgia. So he's the real deal. I just forgot his name. His last name was Smith. What's it? Hey, family, what's the strength and conditioner's name again? His last name is Smith. Real Talk says, not a FAMU fan, but I know when I see the eye of the tiger. Mo Sims. Yeah, Mo Sims. What's this thing like they're a MEAC team? Why does it matter? It's a HBCU. I don't give a damn what record they have against SWAC teams. It's a new year. How much talent have – now be honest with me. When's the last time you seen the SWAC have so much talent for each team? Years. More than a decade. Now, we had great teams here and there. I remember the Devontae Kincaid Grambling team. That team was nothing to play with. But it was sparingly. It was like, it's been a while. What, early 2000s? 1996, mid-90s? I mean, that was another great year. The mid-90s was really good for HBCU, especially in the SWAC. Dominic Dunaville says, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I've been I have a little prediction. Speaking of MEAC, a team that can win the MEAC besides South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. I think if everything clicks, North Carolina Central has a chance. I'm not guaranteeing it, but they have a chance to win the MEAC. Chauncey Harris says 90s, bro. Yeah, the 90s, man. Look how many former NFL players came out of the 90s and got drafted. And then there were some players in the 90s from HBCUs who weren't drafted that played long careers in the NFL. And NFL scouts, you got to do a better job than just hoping an HBCU player falls in your lap in free agency and you get them for cheap. Example, Marquise Bell. As you see right now, he should have never, I repeat, never been undrafted. He's one of the best young safeties that the Cowboys have. I'm not saying the starters, but the young safeties right now. North Carolina A&T is in the Big South, Dominic. They're in the Big South right now. Yeah, they're not. They're in the Big South, brother. The Blue Blood says A&T. They might win the Big South, but not the MEAC. Yeah. He said, "Chill, Blue." I know people forget. It's okay. Speaking of Big South, right now, North Carolina T is the favorite to win the Big South, but look out for Campbell. Campbell plays Citadel today. And I advise everyone, if you can, watch Campbell. They're going to be on ESPN Plus. I got all the apps. So I kind of keep up with all the games and keep up with all the competition in the FCS because they are an opponent for Jackson State at homecoming. So you want to see what they look like. They're recruiting at a high level. Mike Minter, who is a Nebraska legend, he's following the playbook and doing his own style in recruiting. He's out there getting high 3 stars and sometimes 4 stars. It may not be a 5-star, which is tough to do, but what you could do with high 3 stars in the FCS, I don't think you realize the potential that has for programs. And I hope Campbell has a great year because when they play against Jackson State, now we don't have to hear no damn excuses about they ain't playing nobody, which we keep hearing. Every time Jackson State does something good or successful on the field, they try to diminish it. First is their schedule sucks, but aren't they playing SWAC teams? See? So did the SWAC teams suck? You know they improved. So I just can't wait for the season to start because the players on the field determine who wins and loses, not fans. Not me, not anyone on this panel, no one. They decide. Blue Blood says Campbell plays at 5 p.m. Central, and it should be a great test against that front seven. That triple option is no joke. No joke at all. And when you play against a triple option team the first game, it takes some adjusting. Douglas Lamb. Yeah, someone already mentioned it. Shout out to Mo Sims for getting the Jackson State players right for this season. Veronica Hall, peace and blessings, my sister says exactly. Mark Pope transferred, as we talked about earlier. I seen it coming. He came in too late. Yeah, he did. I'm sure he was going to get playing time, but what I was hearing, he wasn't going to start. Jackson State has literally, let me count. They're 12 deep. And some of the young receivers who may not even travel to Miami could play a lot for other schools. You get a lot of playing time. Some can start for other teams. People looking at me when I say I want Campbell to win their games. Like, why would you want Campbell to win their games? They're not HBCU. It all makes everything well. I'm trying to tell you, let's just imagine if Jackson State handles their business and Campbell handles that business, you're talking about a potential marquee matchup between two FCS schools. And HBCU or not, I respect the underdog. I root for the underdog. When an FCS team plays an FBS team, I'm rooting for them to upset them. And let's get this troll out of here. Moderators, if you see a troll, block them. They're not going to ruin this great discussion. Let me read some of these comments. B-Fesh said, our schedule sucks, but got us losing 4. Unbelievably stupid. They said, oh, you said our schedule sucks, but they got us losing 4 games. Yeah, go figure. Blue Blood says, Valley better find a way to pull the win tonight. It'll be a long season. They got to win this game no matter what. They playing Tarleton. And I got some kinfolk that went there years ago. Shout out to Tarleton. Don't forget, I'm a Texas native, so I know a lot about these Texas schools. What I'm hearing is Tarleton does have a 4-star quarterback. What about Duncan? Is Blue probably answer this? Is Duncan still playing? That 6'6" quarterback they had that played last season. Is he still playing for Tarleton? Yeah, SWAC is going to be really good this year. Valley got to win these non-conference games. They need some momentum. I like Valley. I like how old school they are. I want to see who's going to be the starting quarterback for Valley. Is it going to be Eason, the 5'9", 5'10" quarterback, or will it be the JUCO transfer that was one of the top-ranked JUCO quarterbacks? We'll see. Shout out to the Blitz podcast. Yes, that's CFL. He said, just got word there are transfers on campus, JSU's campus, who won't be playing this week. They are deep. Oh, boy. So if Jackson State loses this game, they got reinforcements. Man, shout out to Coach Prime. Man, Coach Prime, he's always going to recruit. The Blue Blood says Duncan retired from football due to a 6-figure job offer. You got to take that. They'll start the 4-star Bo Kelly. I remember him, who was a Kentucky High School Player of the Year. It's going to be an interesting matchup. B Fresh just reported that the JUCO transfer is starting for Valley. His last name is Jones. I remember. Let me take a look. Mississippi Valley State Deltas. When I tell everyone that I want the SWAC to be the most competitive, this helps JSU avoid those games where you don't play hard and you may party before the game. This helps with that. Because can you imagine if Valley wins against Tarleton and then Austin Peay? Now Austin Peay, they look good against Western Kentucky. They look good. That's going to be a tough one. But if they could pull that off, man, that would be something. Trying to look at this roster real quick. Brian Johnson says Coach Palm elevated the conference. Oh, definitely. The sister Veronica Hill says, I love my JSU Tigers, but when FAMU played last Saturday, I was behind them 100%. We don't get the same love. Why? So many JSU fans were showing love to them. Unity, man. That's at the end of the day, no matter what school you root for in HBCUs or FCS, we're the underdog. They don't believe in us. Matter of fact, the Blue Bloods talked about this on his show, that the FBS schools were trying to get rid of having FCS teams play play FBS teams, the money games, and just have it for spring games. That's going to mess up NFL valuations, as he pointed out. That's going to mess up money. Now, I'm not for money games all the time, only if it's reasonable. Like if you're playing against Utah State and you're getting some money and they're a talented team, but a team that won't beat you 60-0 or injure your players, I think anyone with common sense is down with that. It's another thing when you play Bama, Georgia. Ohio State doesn't play FCS schools. We all rooting for each other, man. Now, when you play your rival school, you want to beat the crap out of them. And when that rival school beats you or you beat the rival school, you deserve to talk your shit. This is what makes sports so unique. This is what makes sports great. Sports, basketball, especially football, is the biggest uniter in the whole country, bar none. No matter what's going on, when we're talking about sports, it's the one time you may forget who's that person next to you. But you talking about sports on the same subject, the conversations are so great. Oh, yeah, the brother CFL, man, he got a new name, new intro. Man, shout out to him, man. That's a definition of an upgrade. This keep doing your thing, CFL, man. Because I had a notification. At first, I was like, and I hit up CFL, and I told him this, by the way. I said, man, I had a notification for a video. I said, who is this YouTuber getting all these views that quickly? And I realized it was the CFL speaking. I was like, oh, this is a new name for his channel. Jane Smith says Southern versus LSU, a good test for them. I know a lot of people make fun of Brian Kelly, but Brian Kelly is a winning coach. Brian Kelly had to deal with the academic standards at Notre Dame to recruit. And I know that the new coach right now, Marcus Freeman, is recruiting really well. But apparently what I'm hearing is that Notre Dame has kind of lowered their academic numbers for athletes right after Brian Kelly left, which is funny. That's really all that was. But what I'm hearing from LSU is that they're more disciplined. The offensive tackles with Will Campbell, who's a 5-star, is very good, but he's young. So Dumas and company and Jordan Lewis, maybe they can get some good pressure on that, but he's very talented. LSU's D-line is top 2, top 3 in the SEC. Mason Smith and company are dogs. And that's a great test for that Southern offensive line. Their wide receivers, Keyshawn Boutte, projected to be a top, some say first round. I'm going to go with first round. And their sophomore receivers are very explosive. Now, they haven't announced, meaning LSU, who's a starting quarterback. I'm going to go with Jalen Daniels. Since the offensive line is young, you want a quarterback who can scramble, avoid sacks. He will be doing that for them. But Nussmeier, it's something about Nussmeier, man. Nussmeier has a lot of potential. Will Brian Kelly go with the potential, or will he go with the proven thing? That will be answered this weekend when they play against Florida State. Vaughn says, good looking on this live, brother. Been waiting on some good SWAC content today. Yeah, shout out to all the content creators who are doing their thing. And it's no envy or jealousy. It's just everybody putting in work. We could all eat. That's my saying. We could all eat. And I will always support all content creators, whether if I listen to them or don't that much. I shout their channels out. It's all peace and love here. Everybody's doing their thing. It's great to see. Christopher Jones says Alabama State versus UCLA will be a good test with Bama State new quarterback. Yeah, that will be, man. And it's coached by Chip Kelly. So you know Chip Kelly's going to have so many unique offensive sets for that Alabama State defense. And I'm liking that Alabama State defense. Their DBs are tall as hell. They have a freshman DB, number 14. He looked good. He's only 17 years old, they said. He had his first pick against Howard. He's starting already as a freshman. And what do we tell you about the emergence of Coach Prime? Recruits are better. So you see a bunch of talented freshmen getting to play. I'm looking forward to Grambling. Grambling, what I'm hearing, it's going to be between Hawkins, number 8, and Chavez, the freshman from Florida. No, from Cali. Chavez or Hawkins. It's a coin flip. I really thought Chance Amy was going to win the job, but I'm hearing that the two quarterbacks that are leading right now is Chavez and Hawkins. Everyday Sports says, any updates on the 17 FAMU players ineligible? No updates so far. Once I hear some more, I'll definitely let you know. Kevin Pryor, thank you for the update, my brother. He says Jaden Daniels will start from Arizona State. The transfer from Arizona State will start for LSU. Aaron Sanders says, looks like the quarterback from UTEP might start for Valley. He's in all of the videos, number 11. If he starts for Valley, either the JUCO transfer or the 6'6" quarterback, the transfer from UTEP, one of those two are solid, good options. I'm sure Easton's a good leader, but those two quarterbacks have more potential. So I'm about to go to work, family. I want to say I appreciate every single one of you. And if you want to support the channel, you can do it via Cash App. Everything goes back into this channel so I can do more lives, be more creative, or super chat. I want everyone to have a blessed day. Football season is here, man. Gotta love it. So this is the time to come together and watch good competition. Vaughn says, call in sick. Man, my job needs me. And I'm trying to get to that Jackson State Grambling game. My H-Town family, man, they hit me up. They said, man, you need to go to the Jackson State Texas Southern game later in the season. I gotta go to that one. You know what? I'm gonna go to that one. I'm gonna show some love to Texas Southern, man. I am a Houston native, and I want all Houston teams to do well. Prairie A&M, my father's alma mater, that he went in the 80s, mid 80s, and then Texas Southern. As you know, I talked about this, cousins, uncles. They have a very, very great law school at Texas Southern. So if you want to be a lawyer or in that field, paralegal, go to Texas Southern. Perfect HBCU for it. And shout out to Miss Angie Body. Shout out to Andrew Body's parents for raising not only a leader on that field, but a great young man who's active in the community. Has a lot of talent. And I'm a big fan of Shadir Sanders, but if Body wins Player of the Year, you won't see me complain. I like his game, man. I'm so happy that he's playing in the SWAC. This is a blessing that we have talented quarterbacks like Andrew Body, Shadir, and many others. D. Davis, Demetrius Davis, Jeremy Musa, the list goes on, who are playing for HBCUs in the SWAC. Ain't nothing better than that. Right, Kevin Pryor? Body is a baller, man. I'll watch that Texas Southern. People talk about the South Carolina State game as the game that made everybody nervous. No, it was the Texas Southern game. It was 21-21. And Texas Southern got a focused Jackson State game. They were on a roll. They were on a win streak. After they lost to Louisiana Monroe, they were motivated. At the Celebration Bowl, Jackson State was not motivated. But when they played against Texas Southern, I was on my message box, people saying, man, could Jackson State lose this game? It was 21-21. That was the closest 42-21 score game I've ever seen in my life. That running game and his body was just dinking, running. He's hard to tackle. He makes you miss. Angie Body says they were nervous. They were nervous. Shout out to Miss Ann for the $5 super chat for supporting the channel. Appreciate the love, my sister. Everyday Sports says, JSU grad born in Jackson State but living in Houston for work. I'm ready for the Jackson State Texas Southern game. That's going to be the game. That's going to be the firework game. That's going to be the game where all you see nothing but high-powered offense. Yeah, I gotta go home for that game, man. I was supposed to leave a little early, but I'll stick on a little bit because there was a game I need to bring up. Prairie View versus Texas Southern. I'm not hearing too many great things of Prairie View right now. I'm giving this head coach a chance because he's new, and I think that's some fairness. But beating this Texas Southern team will be tough. It will be tough. Andrew Body and the receivers are back. Remember, last year they played around Texas Southern played 58 freshmen, redshirt and true freshmen, which is a lot. They're coming back more experienced, both sides of the ball. Man, I hope Prairie View A&M, because I respect that school. I love that school. I want them to have a great showing, but I don't think they can beat Texas Southern, not this year. I got to be honest with you. I don't think they can beat Texas Southern. Texas Southern, they have that. You look at all the players' profiles on Twitter and Instagram. They are focused. And not a lot of people are talking about Texas Southern as much. But I like to say, for HBCUs, if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. You have a chance if you have a quarterback. And Texas Southern had that with Andrew Body. Yes, Miss Body. It's going. No, Jackson State got a tough defense, but even with it, that offense is so difficult, man. And don't forget Owens, the running back. I have a question. Don't be surprised if Texas Southern has a top 2 offense in the SWAC. It probably is going to be Jackson State, Texas Southern. Third, because of Musa, Famu. That's going to be the top 3 offenses in the SWAC, bar none. Big LT says, I'm sorry, but ain't nobody putting 50 points on JSU. It'll be a high-scoring game. I don't know about 50. Ja'Cory Howard, ASU. Dazzlin says, Body just needs additional support from the skill players. Offensive line, if Texas Southern team can match Andrew's skill on offense, defense, and special teams, sky's the limit. Yeah. With a quarterback, there's a chance. That's what a coach once told me. A high school coach in Texas once told me, when I have that quarterback, I let everything else figure itself out. When a coach has a quarterback, Clarence McKinney, man, brother, you got to take advantage of this. You got the quarterback right there in Andrew Body. Everything else got to work itself out. But we'll see what happens, man. So we're going to do some more videos through this weekend. I'll do a recap on a lot of games, and I'll probably do a prediction and keys to the game for the Grambling State Arkansas State game as well. But tune into that, hit the like button, share this video. Peace and love, and I'm out.